and welcome. This is Ayana Lahi, and I'm so very happy that you're here with me in this week's episode of Be One, Be You. We are diving into the theme, what is life-changing surrender? How can surrender change your life? How could it even be life-changing? Think of all the moments that you've held on and you later realize that it wasn't really the best option for you. We get scared. We don't even know. We get afraid. It's so easy to give in to the fear because we don't know that there's anything greater than our fear. And we see the world running on fear. And it's all pretty subtle. It can be pretty unconscious to align with fear, turn towards fear. All the different ways that we do that. Your way is unique to you. Whether you couldn't speak your truth as a child, whether you had to watch a parent mistreat your other parent, whether you felt shame over your sexuality, the customs or habits of your family, that perhaps you were very brilliant, perhaps you couldn't achieve academically, and so you judged yourself, and you thought yourself as being a certain way. Perhaps you were raised with a lot of money, and so you could hide behind the money. Perhaps you were raised with very little money, and you had to hide, so you thought, behind your own image or facade of who you are without money. Perhaps you just owned it all and decided you were going to be you no matter what. What a gift. What did you have to surrender? You had to surrender what people thought of you, how you no longer wanted to change yourself to be liked. Sometimes you have to let go of a particular belief system, and you have to take on another belief system, and then you realize that what you really want is the truth. You want to discover what truth really is, how life can support you in living your truth. And what is truth anyway? Is it a belief? What do you need to surrender to find what you really feel inside, what you know is truth for you? What do you have to surrender? In each situation, it's different, but what they all have in common is a universal theme. It's connecting into the source within you first. As your inner alignment, if you fall prey to the outer alignment, then you're dealing with trying to change from the outside in. Perhaps you have a ferocious creative energy, and it feels untouchable at times. It feels challenging to even touch. Like, really, how do you touch it? How do you ignite it? How do you bring it into your everyday life, your thoughts, feelings? What do you do with it? Well, you have to start creating with your own creative power, your own creative energies, and to give yourself the space to get to know where it comes from and get training in it at the appropriate time. Some of you are drawn to get that external training to motivate you and propel you forward, and others want to self-learn and give yourself the expression first and then learn technique so that you know what your own creative expression is and where it's coming from and what direction it wants to take. What does creativity have to do with surrender? To really surrender requires a creative mind. You have to find your creative source in your heart. The only way to really surrender is through your heart. When you hold on and are afraid to change, where the fear takes over, it means that your mind is responding. Your heart is probably disengaged from what's really going on. Once you bring your heart in to the equation of your life situation, the knowingness in your heart takes over, and it can give you strength, it gives you direction, it gives you courage. What happens when the people around you or a significant person in your life, whether a parent, a partner, a friend, a sibling, wants to hold on to their way and are unable or unwilling to shift out of the way they see things? What do you have to do? Well, you have to surrender your own desire to change them, but you can't let go of what your truth is. You want to live your truth and to create your path to be the expression of your truth. Have you ever had the experience in your life where you needed to surrender a perspective, a way of being, a way of eating, a way of making love, a way of providing for yourself, for your family? Surrender a dream. That doesn't feel very good, does it? Sometimes life has pushed people to have to surrender that due to many factors, economically, persecution, war, poverty, death, illness, and then always look to see what is ahead, what is the new opportunity that is just right around the bend to step into. So you are surrendering that things have to be a certain way in order to be happy or to grow. True surrender comes from the heart, your heart center being the gateway to your soul, will guide you. When your mind surrenders, to your heart, you have done a lot of work to get here. There are so many perspectives out there that come from the denial of true surrender. True surrender happens as you call in infinite source, that great connection with the source of all life that is within you, and you ask it to guide you, and you are willing to surrender your fear, because you've looked out at life and you see what does not work. You recognize the poverty of consciousness, the lack or the emptiness of it, the separation from the source being the core of truth, and how that core of truth within inside of you wants to break free. It wants to break into your life. It has to break free and through your body first. We hold our feelings together. We hold ourselves together through refusing to surrender to that greater life force, that source energy. Call it life force, call it spirit, call it the infinite creation. Whatever you choose, it is a very powerful, energetic current. It is the truth itself. When we shut that out, we can't experience surrender. Once that flow, that current of life force, infinite source, God energy, universal spirit moves in us, we are moved. When you play music and you surrender in the moment to that music, you lose yourself. Something else takes you over. You have surrendered. When you are trained as a dancer and you're in your body and you surrender into the movement itself and where it can take you, it's a powerful, powerful moment. When you have a disagreement with a partner, with a friend, and you decide to surrender your own anger into spirit, into universal consciousness, in a moment, you give yourself the opportunity to open into what's through resistance, what's through fear. You give yourself the opportunity to open into love. All surrender happens through love. All surrender happens through a new presence, a new connection with that light, life force energy that is bigger than you. And then as you surrender feeling separate with it, you realize that you're becoming bigger inside. The space inside of you is larger, and you can surrender fear when it comes up. The fear of needing to keep things the same, the fear of being judged, criticized, rejected, begin to slip away, because when you know how to surrender through your own heart being the focus point, and your heart takes over your body, you allow your heart center to grow bigger, to take over. You choose to go from constriction into expansion. As soon as you make the decision that you want to surrender, what happens is that spirit has a place to move in you. It has a way to shift you. You can surrender into the image, the drawing, the painting that's happening literally on a canvas or in a sketchbook and in your life. A picture of how you want your life to be can shift in a moment as you surrender your resistance to having it happen for real and actually having that level of newness and success come to you, and also surrender the resistance to not wanting it to happen because it will change you. And life is meant to be an evolving, changing experience. And in this time on planet Earth, that is what is happening everywhere. So the expectations that you hold to have things, or they should be a certain way, how they are meant to be from your head, when you let go of that, you give the universal mind, that life force consciousness, that infinite source, the opportunity to awaken you, to show you a different meaning, to understand life, understand death, understand relationship, and understand your purpose in a whole different way. And such a blessing. We hold on through being afraid because we are oftentimes not shown, not taught how to connect, access, touch into that greater life force, universal mind within us, that bigness. And the ego self will never surrender until we become bigger than it, that ego voice, ego presence that just wants to keep you shut down so that you won't be hurt ever again. And in that trade-off, what happens is that you hurt yourself. You hurt yourself by not giving yourself the opportunity to really live from who you truly are. You come from the fabrication of yourself. All meditation teaches you a level of surrender. In Be Light meditation, the meditation experience shared in all of the Spirit Gateways, courses and trainings and programs, you experience first connecting into the light within you, and you actually surrender your mind into the light within you. When you surrender, you are always letting go into something. It becomes dangerous when we are taught to surrender into someone who's making themselves a spiritual leader, a religious leader. We give over our power. That's not surrender. Surrender is the conscious action of letting go to allow more life to come into ourself. We are surrendering into the part of ourself that is pure love, the part of ourself that grows to be the one guide in ourself, because deep in our heart, where the oneness of who you are begins to bud and be birthed, is the meeting point between heaven and earth, your masculine energies and your feminine energies, and you experience to grow. You have to surrender how you hold everything together inside so that it feels safe. Each day, create a way in a moment to give yourself that safe feeling, not through hurting or abusing yourself or running or avoiding. It means creating a safe space of being with yourself in a healthy, sweet, deep, loving way so that you're surrendering your need to have to get things done. I don't have time for me. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for this. You begin to use that creative mind because you are surrendering having to hold everything together and allowing that deeper essence, source, universal presence, your awakened self to enter and move into you. You'll find in all of the Spirit Gateways trainings and programs that are part of our membership site many tools and original way teachings to guide you into surrendering into your true self, finding it and living in your true self. I'd love to invite you to check out my website, ayanalahi.com, IANALAHI.com, and I invite you to subscribe, sign up, so that you're in the loop of what we are unrolling out for you, and to receive some really wonderful, free, no charge gifts for you, some really great courses, and know that everything that I'm creating here for you is to empower your path to live and discover living in your whole and true self. Sending you all my love. Thank you so much for being here with all of us. Love to see you in the membership program, our mentoring group, Master Heart Mastermind. And until next week, holding you in deep, deep love, this is Ayana Lahi.